Now, it's been 11 years since my next guest was crowned the winner of the X Factor, beating Ollie Murs and Stacey Solomon in the final. His winning song, The Climb, reached number one on both the UK and Irish singles charts, and since then he has gone on to release 5 studio albums and star in a number of musicals, from Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat to Club Tropicana, which was a huge hit last year in the Board Gosh Energy Theatre. Joe McElderry, you're very welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's great to be here.
It's lovely. I wouldn't recognise you if you walked past me on the street, because you were so young back then. You were only a little baby, really, when you won X Factor.
I know. I'm getting old now, Elaine. It's not good.
No, not old at all. You're still young. Sure, you're only 29 next Tuesday, isn't it? So happy birthday in advance.
29. Thank you. Thank you.
So don't worry. Next year you can have the meltdown when you hit the big 3-0. But going back, going back to the X Factor, I remember watching it. I was glued to it every night back then. That was the year you had Stacey Solomon, you had Jedward, Ollie Murs, of course. It was probably one of the biggest years, and you won. Bring us back to that whole time for you. It must have been so surreal for such a young teenager to go through.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite strange because there's a lot of moments of it now, sadly, that I can't really remember because, I mean, you know what it's like working in television and stuff. Your adrenaline's kind of constantly on the go, and you're learning, you're adapting, and everything kind of moves at a faster pace than normal life, should we call it. So, yeah, I mean, it all happened so fast. And I do believe as well that my kind of naivety and the fact that I was so young was probably me saving grace in a way, because I was able to just kind of enjoy it with naive eyes and just be excited about it all. I think now that I know about the music industry and how it all works and how brutal it can be at times, I think had I have known that then, it might have scared us a little bit more.
So you may not have gone down that route.
No, I mean, I've loved what I've done, and I do love my career. But I think I was just so excited to be on the show at that time because I was a fan of the show, and I was excited by all the lights and everything, that I didn't really have a chance to kind of think about much of anything else until I won the show. And then you come out and you're like, oh God, yeah, I forgot the whole country watches this. It's a pretty big deal.
A huge deal, a huge deal. And when you think the duets that people had for the final, I mean, you had, in my opinion, the best person ever to duet with. What was it like when you heard that you would be singing with George Michael?
Yeah, I mean, George Michael for me is like a massive idol of mine. And I think if you ask a lot of singers, he's one of the best male vocalists of all time, and just great songs, great songwriter, a great artist, like all round. So it got confirmed quite late that I was going to be doing it, and one of the producers rang us at about 10 o'clock at night on the Thursday before the final, and they said, listen, we've just locked it in, we've secured it all in, George Michael's coming to sing on the show, and he's agreed to sing Don't Let the Sun Go Down with you. And I thought they were joking, up until he turned up in soundcheck, I was like, this ain't going to happen. Because, he's an icon. He was, and, obviously we've sadly lost him now, but he was so lovely, he was humble, and just like a true talent that I'll never ever forget that moment.
Because sometimes I'm sure you find the same in show business. The bigger the star, the more normal they are, and then you find some people who are really not all that much, and the egos are massive.
Yeah, definitely. And also they do always say, you should never meet your idols because you'll be disappointed. But he was everything and more that you could want a superstar to be. He was given, he gave me all of the best parts of the song. He said, this moment's about you. I want to make this the best for you and make it a moment. And I'm so happy to sing with you. He invited me and Cheryl to his dressing room. We sat with him and had a cup of tea before the show started. He was one of the nicest people I've ever met in this industry, and very true. I've met a lot of people who aren't as famous, who shall be remain nameless, but they have been so kind.
Oh, don't you worry, I've met a few of them as well. The people that you would never think have their egos and entourage really, really do. Now, you were just speaking about Cheryl there, of course. Everybody thought, are you secret siblings during all that? Because he looks so alike, and she was your mentor. It was gas.
Yeah, I mean, people. There was a few conspiracies at the time, I think, and there was a few articles saying, "Are they brother and sister? Or are they related?" But we're definitely not. But it's what I mean. It's we come from a place where. Probably similar to you guys over there, where everybody kind of feels like they know each other when you're from that part of that place, So yeah, we kind of just had that instant connection, being from the same area.
Yeah, and but what was she like as a mentor? You do you feel that you landed on your feet there with her?
Yeah, lovely. Lovely. And I think because she'd gone through a similar experience to what I had, coming from a small town and being kind of plucked and put into this kind of huge machine, she'd gone through that whole process, so she really kind of related to that. And I don't know, like people from the northeast, we just have the kind of the same way of thinking, and I think that's why we connected.
Yeah, I know there was talks last year of an X Factor All Stars. Now you turned that down. I suppose in one way you kind of want to putting yourself in the position of votes and stuff again would be quite uncomfortable at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a wonderful career and I've done so many amazing things, and all of that would not have been possible without X Factor. So it was never about kind of trying to, throw it back in the show's face or anything like that, because I've always had nothing but good things to say. But for me, it just felt a bit uncomfortable about, like, I'd really proved myself in the industry, and I'd stood the test of time, and I'd really worked hard, and many ups and downs along the way. And I just thought there's a better way to celebrate it than stand on a stage asking everybody to vote for you again. So I decided not to do that and go on a 10-year celebration tour instead, because I felt like, there's people that have came to my shows and bought me albums for 10 years, and they come and they celebrate me and celebrate me music and something that I love. And for me, the way to celebrate that was to be in a room with them, with the band, and just singing and dancing together, rather than kind of standing there going, oh, please vote for me again. It didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I thank them for asking us and thinking of us, but I just said thanks but no thanks.
A lot of the times and nowadays, I think people who do begin their career through reality shows, they're kind of thought they have the easy way into it as such, and perhaps their talent isn't there. But I think that you really, really showed your talent when you won the second series of Pop Star to Opera Star. I mean, that really, really must have been a huge challenge for you, and somewhat daunting because. I mean, that's such an elite, it's the elite of singing, really, opera singing. How did you find that experience?
Yeah, to be honest with you as well, when I signed up to do the show, I thought it would be a joke, like not the show being a joke, but me being a part of it. People would find it a little bit funny, and it would just be something that I could have a bit of fun with. I never in a million years imagined that I would learn a whole new skill, and I would love it as much as I do singing pop. It was really hard. It was like going to the gym. Like, we used to do like 3 to 4 hours of vocal training every day for about we did 6 weeks of training before the show started, and then 6 weeks of the live shows. But it was amazing. It massively helped me voice. I still use that technique now, and especially when I'm on like long tours, where it's really vocally demanding. The breathing techniques that they taught us was just it, like, you couldn't pay for that kind of training. So it was amazing, and obviously opened up a whole new genre of music in terms of classical crossover stuff. I still perform all of that in my shows and concerts and everything. So it was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that you say that it's actually like you trained your voice, your vocal cords, you trained the muscle really to work that much harder, like you would an athlete going to the Olympics nearly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought like, oh, great, I'm going to get paid to have a little bit of fun on this reality show. I've already done X Factor, so I know how the whole live show format works. It'll be really easy. Little did I know, after the first week of training, I was like, oh my god, this is literally like a full-time job. It was, like every day would be in the studio at 9 a.m. The vocal coaches, they'd have us doing breathing exercises, and they'd be like, no, wrong, start again. It was like a boot camp.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if I was ever invited onto a reality show with you, I would say no because you won X Factor, you won Pop Star to Opera Star, and you won the first series of the Jump as well, which most people didn't even get to the second round because they all broke their legs. That's it. No one should ever go on one with you because you're always going to win these things.
I know, and it's funny because my manager, we were chatting not long ago, and he said, I'm a little bit concerned that if you ever get asked to do any more reality shows and you don't win, you're gonna have a bit of a tantrum.
I can't imagine you having a tantrum somehow because the show must go on, as we know here in Dublin, because of course you've also embraced the musical genre and you were here for Club Tropicana last year, and there was a bit of an incident.
Oh, we had so much fun in Dublin last year. First of all, that venue is beautiful, and yeah, I think it was the press night. It was the opening night in Dublin, and I think the video is on my Instagram if anyone wants to have a look at it, because we got sent it from the crowd on Twitter. And one of our desks that control the whole show, and there's a lot of moving parts that go on, it crashed. The power went out on it or something, so they had to stop the show in the middle. And the curtain comes down. We're all kind of waiting on stage to find out what's going on. And all of a sudden, you could just hear 2,000 people. They put the pre-show music back on, obviously, to entertain the audience. And 2,000 people were just literally singing a load of 80s hits, out their seats, cheering, waving. They were having their own concert. And we were like, hang on a minute, this is better than the show.
I heard great things about that night. I missed it myself, and I'm sorry I did, because it looked like great fun altogether. Now, we spoke about your birthday earlier on. You are doing something quite special next Tuesday for your birthday. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, obviously, like I was supposed to be touring this year, working on a new album, and everything's kind of had to go on hold because of lockdown and keeping people safe and everything, which is totally understandable. So, like many theatres across, the world, not just the UK, everybody's struggling. Performing arts is a very kind of dispensable thing. It's not a thing that is needed all the time. It's a luxury. So, one of our theatres, a local theatre where I actually used to work, is really struggling at the moment. So I thought, what can I do? I can't have a birthday party because I can't have anybody in my house and I can't go anywhere. So we've decided to do a live stream from the theatre with no audience, obviously. So it's going to be on Twitch TV, Joe McElderry, my account. We're going to live stream on Tuesday from 7:30 p.m. We're just going to play games, a quiz. I'm going to sing and just have a bit of a birthday party and send it to everybody's living rooms. So, and all of the money, we've got a GoFundMe page where people can donate. And if they watch, they just, donate whatever they can and just help people out. But I just thought it was a nice way to kind of celebrate my birthday and help a local theatre out, because it's it's a scary time for many people on many different levels.
Yeah.
And and so I thought, if I can do something to help them. So, but if anybody wants to watch, you can go to joemckelderryofficial.com, and we're streaming from 7:30 p.m. Next Tuesday on my birthday.
And it's the Customs Theatre.
Customs House.
Customs House, yeah.
I used to be a dishwasher there. Before my X Factor days, I used to wash dishes in the kitchen and then sneak out and change into a little black shirt and sing for all the paying customers when they were eating the dessert.
Aww.
And then I'd have to go back in the kitchen.
That's absolutely adorable. Listen, I don't know about anybody else, but I will be tuning into that. And listen, I hope you have a wonderful birthday and raise loads and loads of funds for what is a very worthy cause, because I know all the arts are suffering at the moment during lockdown. Joe McElderry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Lots of love.